It's week 9 of the 2042 season, where we'll get a look at this team's star running back. He's one of the highest scoring backs in the league, ranking 5th in rushing touchdowns. The action is only moments away, and it's
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Portland team entering play. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game. So they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
On the other side of the field for our visitors here, they come in riding high, just 1 loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in week 9?
And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a look at the man under center, now in his 8th season in the National Football League.
And last week's loss came despite a clean game on his end, throwing the ball with 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. His job this week is simple. Do it again. Continue to avoid turnovers and hope that what sunk them last week resolves itself this time around.
Throwing to start the drive. Cannon flushed out right. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage.
That's the first time he's called his own number, but he's got to be overjoyed with the results. He wasn't just going to settle for a modest gain. To me, he was determined to come through with a big message to a defense that slept on him in the pocket.
Under pressure, and down he goes.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Getting into the act on the opening drive here with a sack. And remember, they had 5 last week.
And they saw that on film, and that meant that they had to get together. Offensive coordinator, quarterback's coach, offensive line coach, receivers coach, and say, how do we beat this pressure? Because everyone has to win against the defense and get the ball out of the hands of the quarterback very quickly.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Under pressure, and they got to him again. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's 3rd down.
They'll make that a 2nd sack here on their first drive out defensively, and not to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to tamp that down, aren't they? So if you're the play caller, you're telling your quarterback maybe some screens, maybe some draws, hard count, use your voice inflection a little bit, anything to try and slow that pressure down.
And on now is the punter. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a glance here at their shifty mobile signal caller.
And for how good he is throwing the ball, it's his running that makes him so dangerous. He had a couple of touchdowns on the ground in last week's game, so we'll see what they dial up for him for this one.
Throwing to start the drive. Burrell. Can't get away, and he's taken down.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Well, if they have any thoughts of coming in here and getting this road victory, that's not the way to start it out on the first play of the game.
Yeah, one thing you always say when you go on the road, take the crowd out of the game. They actually brought the crowd into it by permitting that sack right out of the gate.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Now the first carry for Bush. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle. And oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
That third down conversion good for 23. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
They run up the middle with Bush. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
2nd down and 4.
Back to throw. Burrell. And he's got him. Got his man on the end route. Complete. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And now 1 yard to go on 3rd down. In motion is Grant. They'll try and run for the first with Bush. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped them, bringing up 4th down.
And no signs of the field goal unit. They're going for it on 4th down. Looking to throw. Burrell. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5.
Here we go now on 1st and goal.
Back to throw. Burrell. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Down this close to the goal line, 1st down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on 1st down in this situation because 2nd down, that gives me an option of running play action, maybe.
Touchdown! A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And his guys have taken a first-quarter lead. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Extra point right down the middle, and that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their 2nd drive.
Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. In motion goes the tight end. Now a 1st down carry for Harris. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
When you look at this defense,
well, they were very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen 1 touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And this won't be enough. A good secure tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. So they bring out their punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And the fair catch is taken at about the 13-yard line here.
The visitors' offense and their quarterback coming out for their second drive. And he continues to be a nightmare for teams to defend in the red zone. You see the graphic. He's second in the NFL in terms of rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Looking for Murphy, and he finds him complete. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's second down. Looking to throw. Burrell throwing the out route and complete. It's Grant. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. Bush trying the middle. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 25 carries, 113 yards.
Just an excellent performance from them on the ground last week, and that speaks to an offense that is operating at a high level on all fronts. Of course, that man running the ball, he's just seeing the field so well. But don't forget about his offensive line. They've really asserted their will out there and are confident they can repeat it again this week.
22 yards there, a first down.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a first down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Back to throw. Burrell. He finds his man complete. It's Murphy. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Give him back-to-back catches now. That one for 16 and another first down. They'll run it with Bush. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And they'll get him down inside the red zone at the 14. It's also a gain of 14. First down. Looking to throw. Burrell firing quickly here, and that's complete. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they go to work on a 1st and goal. Back to throw. Burrell. And it's caught. Touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And his guys are going to add on to their lead.
Well, this has been a flawless start for them. They score, they get the stop, and they score again, Charles.
Complimentary football at its finest. You've just mentioned how they got it done. They scored. The defense got the ball back for them. They score again. That's the way you win ball games.
Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 14-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football?
And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for the touchdown. A big play there. His 1st touchdown on the year. And his guys get the quick strike touchdown. And we didn't even get a chance to settle in for that drive. A quick strike of 75 yards, and they find the end zone.
Don't you get the sense that film study was behind this one, that they saw something that they thought they could take advantage of? The key is calling it in the right situation, knowing when it exists to go to it. They did exactly that. They've got to feel really good about what they did in advance of this game.
Just looking down at the sideline now, their defense is like, man, can you have strung that out just a few plays? Give us a break. Back out there.
Hey, man, give that water break and get on out there and play.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Out is their quarterback with this offense to take over once more. He's got 2 touchdown passes on his first 2 drives, and he'll try again here on drive 3.
Off the play fake. Burrell. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down.
Well, here's your first example of how this guy can beat you in more ways than one, because they took away his arm, but he was more than happy to dissect them with his legs for that first down pickup.
Here's a toss. Bush to the left. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
3rd and 2. Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. That'll go as a pickup of 8.
And that one was a lot of fun right there, because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left. The run, it's Bush. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down. Operating from the gun, Burrell. That's caught by Kelly. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
From the 21, here's 2nd down and 8.
They give to Bush going right, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They give those 2 yards right back, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Burrell. He finds his man. Complete. That's Bush. So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and it'll be 4th down.
The whole idea of the screen pass is to fool the defense in a big way and create a big play.
They weren't fooled.
Not 1 second, not 1 bit. How about them figuring it out, diagnosing it, and spilling it for lost yardage?
So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. The home team's offense and their wideout getting set to go once more. And seemingly every time they've looked his way in this first half, it has resulted in a big play, as borne out by the numbers.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive.
Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. He finds his man, complete. It's Schmidt. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
Here now, 3rd and a yard.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left.
They'll go with a touch pass here, trying to pick it up.
And they needed 2. They could only get 1. 4th down.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
And they'll send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a first down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Throwing middle, and it's complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
A false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. They'll hand it off to Bush. And he gets it down to the 32. That's a gain of 11. Would have been a first down if not for that penalty moments ago.
From the 32-yard line now, here's a 2nd down and 4.
They'll keep it in the hands of Bush. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And that is incomplete. Oh, he did everything but hold on to it. But a nice play defensively, and now it brings up 4th down.
And for the second time this half, on comes the field goal unit here. Made his first. This now from 46 yards away. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And that will open the lead up now to 20-7. So they get the 3. It was 4th and 1. And yeah, I think you were doing what I was doing. I was looking down at the sideline. I'm not sure the offensive unit wanted the 3. They wanted to go for it.
But when have we ever seen a unit that didn't want to go for it in that situation, right? Sometimes it's just way more important to have the points on the board than to worry about any type of a gamble.
Portland's offense now about set to take over. And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line.
2nd down, 8 to go from the 28.
Harris running straight ahead. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 11 yards there, first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Wide open receiver, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Back to throw now on first down. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Back to throw. Cannon, and that is incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. A good pickup there, 7 yards, but it brings up fourth down. They bring their punter out there now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Complete to Kelly. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. From the gun on third down, Burrell.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
That might be the third down stop that they needed, because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And it's fielded at the 34. 8 yards on the return following a punt of 41.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Up the middle they go. Fulton.
And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line.
They'll look to throw now on first down.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining.
Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
On third down, he'll drop to throw.
And that one to the right side and incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on third down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
And the 11-year veteran bangs it through.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. A lane opens here. He's past the 30. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, all right, Brandon, thank you very much. This has certainly been a fun one to watch so far. We knew this was going to be a battle, and we have not been disappointed. This is the kind of game that could wind up hinging on which side can play mistake-free football the rest of the way.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42. Great return. This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They'll start on the ground with Bush. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down. And they'll send the tight end in motion. They'll look to throw here on first down. He finds his man, complete. That's Murphy. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up second down. Operating from the gun. Burrell over the middle, complete. That's Murphy. So the completion good for just 3. And that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Bush on 3rd down. And he's going to be a yard short. Needed 4, but got 3.
When a good play is made on defense, oftentimes leverage is the key to everything. Defensive line not getting turned, all the other guys making sure they're in the right spot, and on that play, they were able to stop them short of a first down.
So the kick from here on a field goal would have been right at 53 yards. But instead, offense out there. They're going for it. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. A big-time sack there on 4th down. And as a result, possession switches hands. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
If they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on first down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. The slot man in motion right. 2nd and 9 now. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will. And he's got a first down to boot. And they'll send the slot in motion left. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. Ball on the 36 now. Here's a 2nd and 5. They hand this off to Harris, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6. Looking to throw. Cannon. He gets it complete to Harris.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now a handoff up the middle. Fulton. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Now a 2nd and 2.
They'll keep it on the ground. Fulton. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19.
4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Back to throw. Cannon. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
2nd down and a little more than a yard here.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the 1st here.
Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris.
And Harris is not going to get there. Great work defensively to stop him short.
They end up getting stuffed twice after that 9-yard gain back on 1st down.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will tighten this one up a bit. Now a 1-score game at 20-13.
So 3 points, maybe not a grand prize at this stage, but it does get them back within 1 score.
It certainly does, because now they stay within shouting distance. So that means everyone on your sideline stays engaged in this game. They know they still have a shot.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So now out comes this offense led by their quarterback as they take over once more. And he had it going in the 1st half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Grant. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
2 yards to go, 2nd down.
On the counter, it's Bush.
And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. 87 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. They'll go again with Bush.
And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40.
11 more on that one and another 1st down. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. Looking to throw. Burrell. He finds his man. Complete. It's Grant. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down. Back to throw. Burrell. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
Back to throw again. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Murphy. And he will take it in for the touchdown. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And they are able to add on to their advantage.
So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bowling his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
Point after, right down the middle, and the lead now up to 14. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Well, this offense and their wideout headed back onto the field. And he was pretty much unguardable in that first half. You see the numbers there as they try to add to him here in this third quarter. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Throwing to start the drive. Cannon.
I think that's a big-time play there because the slant route is really hard to cover because the timing is so quick. But able to see it, diagnose it, and get to the football, that's why he was able to bat it away.
Off play action. Cannon. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for third. Looking to throw. Cannon.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset.
In motion comes the tight end left. Throwing to start the drive. Burrell, he finds his man, complete. It's Murphy. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in the Rose City of Portland, Oregon, as we're about ready to rock and roll for the 4th and final quarter. A give. This is Bush. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. This is Bush.
And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. 113 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
They run up the middle with Bush. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves, you're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. In motion is Grant. They'll try the right side with Bush. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal.
He'll try again.
He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. Defense keeps him out of the end zone there. Now, will they go for it? And if so, can they do it one more time?
Yeah, I just don't know if it's worth it going for it because what we've seen from the defense so far, every gap is taken care of. Everyone is sound in their coverage. No one is breaking free. And those ball carriers are getting tagged. If I were them, I'd think very hard about just taking 3 points and taking their dignity and moving on.
And the ball's at the 2, spotted at the 2, so a pretty good chunk to go. So that almost certainly the final piece to this puzzle, a 3-score lead. I don't think there's any coming back from there.
Well, you know, normally I'd get on you for giving up on the game right here, but I do think you're right in this case. This late in the game, 2 scores is tough enough. 3, I'm with you. That seems out of the question.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one. Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it, and it's second down. They'll send a receiver in motion left. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he was able to shed 1 tackle but could not get away from there. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. Back to throw. Cannon. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that's going to make it 4th down. They're going for it. This is Harris. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. And they rattle off a big one. 55 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Off the bootleg. Cannon. This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal. Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
Encroachment, defense.
So they got him coming up from his linebacker spot.
And sometimes the position designation really doesn't matter. If you creep up to the line of scrimmage, you just have to look for the football. Make sure it moves before you do.
Here's another 2nd and goal, this time from half the distance closer. Harris. Fighting, but he won't get too far. Maybe a yard, that's all, down to the 2. The 2nd down play, not much better than the 1st, just a gain of 1 there. This likely a must-have, 3rd and goal. Off the play fake. Cannon, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Bad place to fumble down here in the red zone. At least they got it. They'll have another shot. Or no, they won't have another shot. It's going to be 4th down. Maybe they can at least salvage 3.
And they were thinking 6 points because at this position of the field, it's go time, right? You take your shots at the end zone. They weren't able to do that one, so you look over at the sideline. There's the head coach saying, oh, heck, kick it, field goal time.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt, and as a result, possession switches hands. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
143 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues.
Bush trying the middle. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Second and a couple.
They'll run it with Bush. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
4 yards the pickup, first down.
On the run, it's Bush.
And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46.
It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground.
And good work there in open space. And he's got this all the way down now to the 32.
Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They run the counter. Bush. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
It carries like that. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere.
Here's 2nd and 10.
They'll hand it off to Bush. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first.
From the gun on 3rd down, Burrell. And he's not able to get away, sacked back at the 22. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on 3rd down.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
And well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. And this a 39-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
So this crowd will not go home happy. It's a victory for our visitors. And it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 points, that lone field goal in the entire second half.
And remember the old adage, offense sells tickets. Defense does what?
Wins championships.
And in this game, maybe a championship wasn't won, but a game was by the defense, right? Held them to just a field goal. That's a heck of a job. I mean, when they went out there with that determination and a pretty good game plan, pretty good idea of what they wanted to accomplish, just love the execution, love the tenacity, love the way they finished.
So for our visitors, the win will move them to 7-2 now on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Portland, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.